Hello, welcome back to Harkins Haven. Today we have a very interesting project for you guys. This is our chicken kill cone stand. We just sort of designed it last year on the fly out of some old pieces of pallet wood and some random 2x4s that we had around. And we've modified it a couple times, so I'll show you how it works now and what the problems are. So this is just an old piece of pallet wood which we have braced at the bottom, so you can see this little H bracing, and right here, let's get a little closer. See right here, this screw is where the kill cone hooks on. This is so we can wrap the chicken's feet, and the cone just sits right here. These braces here and here are to keep it together and keep the kill cones at the right angle. The problem right now is, check this out. So whenever the chickens get in there and start flopping around, the whole stand will fall over. So when on butcher day, Brian has to make the cut and then stand here and hold this, and that's inefficient and annoying. So we're gonna brace it up a little better before we get to butchering this weekend.
What I'm doing here is just taking a piece of the pallet wood that Laura mentioned earlier, and I am creating a front brace for our cone stand. We noticed that whenever the chickens were in the cones on the stand, it tended to lean forward rather heavily, and when we tried to compensate for it, it didn't really work. So what we're doing right now is just to brace against the forward lean, and I'm doing that by putting in these diagonal braces. I'm also using 3-inch deck screws to fasten the braces onto the stand. Unfortunately, we don't have anything that was shorter that would have gone through both of the pieces of wood together, so it ended up being a little bit of overkill, but it works.
So this is the final product of what it will look like on butcher day. So we decided to make one more modification. We're gonna put these right here to help this cone wobbles when the chickens are in it. So if we put this here, that will stop the cone from wobbling and should lower the force on the whole thing altogether. And then we'll just have to see how it goes.
And we're gonna mount those braces to the sides of the cone. We're using some pieces of a 2x4 that I had left over from a previous project, and I ended up cutting that leftover bit in half to have the wood for these braces, because we didn't need anything super long. So just a 2x4 leftover piece, and I'm using 3-inch deck screws again to mount these braces or attach these braces to the stand for better stability and rigidity, hopefully. And we're going to see how this goes. And here is the final, now modified again, version of our cone stand that we're going to be using really soon, as butcher day for our chickens is right around the corner. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next one.